Hey everybody, ask my Discord for some players to do deeper dives into. Got 10 good ones. Going to go through them, tell you which guys can play on the regular. Going to get you some good results. This is your Sorare Edge. All right, want to show you which tools I'm using to do this. First thing is Fangraphs. Fangraphs is a great resource for you. Roster Resource tab here has the lineup tracker. And the lineup tracker will tell you certain teams roll out their starters every day. Other teams will give more rest days. You want to find those teams that are rolling out their starters every day. There's nothing worse than a 4-game game week and your guy playing only 3 times. Some players obviously don't play against left-handed pitching, so you'll see that reflected in here. But a great resource for you. And then I also use Baseball Savant, all the StatCast data. And the StatCast data really tells the story, what we can expect going forward from players, especially on the hitting side. Metrics that we use to figure out when some positive regression is coming or if there is possibly some negative regression coming. All right, so the first guy I'm going to break down is Zach Neto. Now, Zach Neto missed the first part of the season with an injury, first couple of weeks, came back and has not had a day off since. Generally a very good sign. Everyday player, leadoff hitter. Those are both things that are very important. You're looking at a guy who's going to get the most at-bats possible and play every day. The StatCast page is really impressive for Neto. Far more impressive than I would have anticipated. 380 WOBA, really good, but a 403 expected WOBA. The only thing on this profile that I don't like is the strikeout rate at 28.5%. Little high, walk rate a little low, but really hard to complain. The ball hard. His barrel rate's insanely high. I think his sprint speed, good enough to steal bases, and he does like to run. He already has 8 steals. So this is a guy that is a very valuable piece and probably flies under the radar sometimes. Obviously, we used him this last game week as he hit the top of my projections in a 4-game set at Sacramento. But I would say, as of right now, this is sustainable. The last couple years, he's been more of a league average bat. This year, it looks like something may have really clicked for him. And of course, the everyday playing time is the most important thing. As long as he doesn't hit a huge bad skid and lose his starting spot. But I don't think that's going to happen. The Angels are a poverty franchise, and he's probably their best player right now, so I don't think he's coming out of the lineup anytime soon. I'm buying into Neto. I think you can continue to start him pretty regularly, especially when the matchup dictates it. Next up, we have another Angel, Taylor Ward. Now, Taylor Ward, over the last 7 days, the 9th hottest hitter in the league. We also played him this week. He's had a really nice week. He doesn't get very many days off either. He's played all year and only had 1 day off. So you can expect him to be in the lineup almost every day, hitting either 3rd, 4th, or 5th, middle of the order. He actually led off before Neto got back, and now he moved down to the more of the middle of the order. Now, Ward's been around for longer, so we have a little more of a track record. Pretty league average. And he goes through peaks and valleys. He had a hot stretch last year where he was pretty usable, and he's in one right now. You can see that xWOBA just climbing the last couple weeks. Similar sprint speed to Neto, but he does not run. And again, the strikeout rate a little high, the walk rate a little low. Angels just free swing. I don't think they care if they win or lose at this point. Barrel rate's huge for Taylor Ward. He's just going for it. Not a bad guy to have, though. 338 xWOBA, obviously not at Neto's level, but a decent player and somebody who is going to be in there every day for you. The future prognosis on Taylor Ward, well, Taylor Ward's generally just a guy, but he is a guy that plays every day. So if you can find him for cheap, and you want to throw him in there as filler in some of those lineups here and there, definitely a good guy to have because he's not coming out. Next up, Adley Rutschman. Rutschman finally homered yesterday, and it was his first homer in quite a while. First homer against I think it was his first homer against a left-handed pitcher since like 2023 or something like that. Seems crazy. He was kind of a breakout star at one point, and he has really struggled this year. As a catcher, he is going to get days off, and that's unfortunate for Sorare because you almost can't play catchers in Sorare unless they're going to DH when they're not behind the plate. And he does DH here and there, almost exclusively against the left-handed pitching, because they have Ryan O'Hearn. They like to throw out there at DH against righties. They have Mountcastle. So the Orioles have a number of guys who are not great defensively that they like to throw in that DH spot. So when Rutschman's not catching, they like to give him a day off. You can see he's had 3 days off in the last couple weeks. So can you count on him to be out there every day? I don't think so. We look at his numbers. I mean, they're not bad. His strikeout rate's still really good. His walk rate's good. Max exit velocity looks good. Barrel rate's fine. Not great, but it's fine. And The WOBA to ex-WOBA difference makes me think that there is some positive regression coming for him. I don't think he's a lost cause. 358 still really good. And you can tell some stuff from this. So this is just some bad luck to start the season. It looks like got a 270 expected batting average, and he's hitting 213. Expected slugging of 474. He's at 360. So that tells me there's some good stuff coming for him. He may find his power stroke here as the weather warms up. Baltimore has been the best hitting park in the league since they changed the dimensions this year. So I don't think he's a lost cause. You definitely could use him for dailies. I just don't know how much you can use him for regular game weeks. He's just not going to be in there enough to be worth playing in the game weeks. How about Javi Baez? What a great story. Career resurgence. Won a World Series with the Cubs, 2016. Young, up-and-coming superstar. Could never really control his plate discipline. Swings at bad pitches a lot. Strikes out too much. They've been playing him in center field. He's had a nice stretch. Cooled off a little bit again lately. You can just see how many days off he gets, though. I just don't trust him to be in there every day, and that's a problem. And when we look at his numbers, although they're better than last year and the year before and the year before that, they're still not that great. His WOBA at 345 looks good, but his expected is much lower. He hasn't hit a ball over 110 this year. This is a guy that used to have elite exit velocity when he was in his late 20s. He's in his early 30s now, and that seems to be drying up as he gets older. The classic aging process of a bad ball hitter. Usually these guys struggle as they age. This is the same issue that I think we're running into with Jose Altuve this year. Can make contact on anything and are willing to swing at it. As they age, they can't reach those pitches as much, and they start to struggle. See anything in this profile that gives me any hope that he's really in the midst of a breakout at age 32, I would avoid Baez at this point. All right, so this one's interesting. Gavin Sheets was brought up. Now, Gavin Sheets has been DHing for the most part for San Diego. Early in the season, he was a strict platoon. He was sitting against all lefties and playing against all righties. The last couple weeks, he's hit against a couple lefties. So does he have an everyday role? I don't think so. He's definitely a power bat upside, but the numbers aren't spectacular. Slightly better than league average. Striking out quite a bit, not walking as much as you'd like. He's a nice play for dailies when you're facing a weaker right-handed starter. Other than the power, he really doesn't give you much. He's probably an avoid for me other than for dailies. What about Julio Rodriguez? Well, Julio Rodriguez never comes out. One day off all season. He's heated up a little bit. And this is a guy that I think everybody's just been kind of waiting on to break out. He obviously has all the physical tools. He's shown it before for stretches. He had a stretch a couple years ago where he was easily the best player in the league for about a month. And what do we see from his StatCast? Well, we see he definitely can hit the ball really hard. Still only 24. The barrel rate, not great, but he's lowered his K rate quite a bit. He's upped his walk rate. His ex-WOBA significantly higher than his regular WOBA, so I think there's some positive regression coming for Julio. The sprint speed's obviously there, 96th percentile. He only has 5 steals so far this year. I think that number rises. I can buy in on Julio. Nolan Arenado in St. Louis. Looks like they bumped him down in the order to 6th. He was hitting cleanup pretty much every day to start the year. He's getting more days off. He used to be a guy who played every day. Looks like recently he's been playing every day again. Just don't see it from Arenado. They got him out of Coors. And as soon as he left Colorado, some of his power left with it. And this year, you're looking at a below-average bat. This is another guy who can hit anything. Strikeout rate, very low, but not making good enough contact. So it doesn't matter if you strike out 12% if you are making crummy contact because you're going to hit a lot of weak ground balls, and that's exactly what's happened to Arenado. Barrel rate at 3.8. Max exit velocity is down to 107.9 this year. So I think we're in 107.5 all year last year. In his mid-30s, I think we're kind of reaching the end for Arenado. Obviously no speed, so you're not going to get any steals from him. This is a guy I'm avoiding. All right, how about Lawrence Butler? Well, Lawrence Butler has been kind of losing some playing time here and there recently over the last 7 days, and overall still a top 100 player. I feel like he gets back to being an everyday guy. Did homer yesterday, but he'd been leading off for most of the season, and they moved him down to the 6th, the 7th, middle of the order, and now back up to the top. And this was one of the breakout guys last year, and the numbers just aren't good this year. I guess the silver lining here is he does run. He has 8 steals despite not necessarily being a fast runner. The max EV is really good, but the WOBA and the ex-WOBA tell the story of a league average to even slightly below it league average bat, at least so far this season. And these guys can improve. The plate discipline seems fine. I don't know. He's a tough one. He's going to need to play every day at least to be interesting. Seemed like something clicked in for him at some point last season. He needs to find it again. Like a lot of players, get in a good groove, he'll excel for a period of time, and then he'll kind of lose it for a little bit, have to get it back again. So pitchers adjust to hitters' strengths, and hitters have to adjust back. I'm not running out to get Lawrence Butler right now. Jackson Chourio. So Jackson Chourio is either the leadoff hitter, the number 2 hitter for the Brewers. This has been a really disappointing season for Chourio. The last stretch has been really bad. I feel like he's striking out way too much. Way too talented a hitter to be striking out this much. And he is still playing every day, and the sprint speed is still good. He's still stealing bases, so he's got that. But he's just not taking pitches. He's only walking 2.3% of the time. He's kind of allowing the pitchers to do whatever they want. They just throw sliders off the plate. He just swings at them. And the K rate's not awful, but I think the reason that the K rate's not awful is because he's such a good contact hitter that he's just making weak contact with a lot of these pitches and grounding out. Everything in his profile was better last year. This guy's 21 years old. Everybody was excited last year when he came up and he did so well. I'm still bullish long-term on Chourio, but this year has been pretty bad. The Brewers as a whole are just a garbage offense right now. And that 279 xWOBA, bottom 10% of the league for a guy who's playing every day. That's one of the reasons your offense is struggling. Guy at the top of the order is just not performing. If you can get a great deal on him and you want to take a flyer for long term, sure. But for right now in the season, I don't see any reason to be running out and grabbing Chourio. And the last guy we're going to discuss is Willy Adames. Willy Adames, Chourio's former teammate from last year with the Brewers, now out in San Francisco. Love Adames because Adames never comes out of the lineup. He's played every game this year for San Francisco. Not a great season for Adames, but volume is the most important thing here in a points-based fantasy baseball league. We're so rare. You want somebody in the lineup all the time. Adames always in the lineup. If we look at his underlying numbers, they're not good, but they're not awful. I think there's a chance he gets back to his normal levels. Peripheral stuff all looks pretty similar. The walk and the strikeout rate, the barrel rate, the EVs. There's nothing crazy here that makes me think he just is losing steam. I think there's a good stretch in here for Adames. And for right now, if you can get him for cheap and wait it out, hopefully he can come through for you later in the season. There's your 10 players. You want some guys who I think still have some upside. Sal Perez hit his first home run in a month yesterday. That xWOBA to WOBA gap, still huge. I still think there's probably something in here for Sal Perez. Brian Reynolds, I don't think there's any way he ends the season as badly as he's going right now. 343 xWOBA tells me he's well above average and should get it going eventually. K rate's really high for him. I think he gets better as the season goes on. Everybody's talking about what's wrong with Juan Soto. There's nothing wrong with Juan Soto. Juan Soto's approach is just he doesn't swing at any pitches that aren't strikes. And so he's going to walk a lot. And sometimes he doesn't hit as many homers because they're not throwing him strikes. I mean, his numbers overall are still really good. I wouldn't be too worried about him. Luis Robert leads the league in steals. He's been a little unlucky with the bat. I wouldn't be afraid to invest in him. And Dylan Cruz just went on the IL with an oblique, which is really tough news because he was starting to get it going. That's a guy I'll be watching when he comes off. All right, thanks for watching, and good luck this weekend.
Want to dominate? Unleash the power of So Rare Edge. Optimize, strategize, win, win, win. Patreon link in the description.